Okay, time to try something at the home location instead of just on the vacation location. So, gonna keep working on this rainbow stormtrooper here. This I got from Amazon. I'm gonna work on this white here. Okay, let's see how this goes. Now, I didn't reload my pen. Oop, gotta see where this is. Didn't reload this with putty. Probably should have. We'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work very well, then we'll pause the video and give it a try. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's just fallen off. Okay, be right back. We are loaded up, glasses on, ready to go. So, about to start a new work week. Mondays are always challenging, especially after a holiday, where thankfully I got to take about a week off. That was incredible. You know, the holidays are wonderful for that. But there's so much involved. It's kind of like going on vacation. You need a vacation post-vacation. Vacation. To recover from either everything you did or having to clean up. Got back home and actually don't think you can see what I'm doing. Oh well. No, I'm just off to the side a little. Here we go. We'll come back into this. Got back and Christmas is still up and it's beautiful and it's lovely. But it reminds me that it all has to come down. Typically, that is what happens on the weekend after New Year's Day. But we were driving back from vacation and then had to go right from getting home and unloading to changing to do our volunteer shift at the temple, which we do every Saturday. And that means I need to find time during the week this week to take Christmas down. Although I do have to add, this is the first year, I don't know why, I would be okay leaving it up a little longer. Now, that all being said, I do have a grandchild being born in a month. Very excited. First grandchild. And so I need to make sure everything is in order before that happens. Not that I expect the grandbaby to be milling around anytime soon. Of course, have a little bit of time before that happens, but I do also expect that a lot of my spare time is going to be spent being a grandma, which I'm very excited about. My mom, you already know this if you've seen any of my social media posts. My mom passed away last year, and I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary, which will be a challenge. But because they were back east and I was out west, I really didn't get a lot of grandparent time from my mom and dad, which is totally fine. Whenever we did get to see them, they were amazing. So I want to make sure that I give the grandma time that is wanted, of course, also being very conscientious of not overdoing grandma time. So I'm really excited about that. And of course, this is my daughter's first, which means a lot of learning. Now, I will add that while this is their first child, they have 4 or 5, I think it's 5 cats. And so they are already used to a lack of sleep. I don't know how they do it. It just kind of blows my mind. But it was good training for parenting. And so I think they'll do great. Of course, a baby is very different from cats. But I expect them to be amazing. I'm also surprised at how much parenting has changed since I had kids. It is not nearly the same. As I was going through and helping buy things on their list, there were things I thought was missing, and I would say, what about this and what about this? And they'd say, no, you don't do that. We can't have that. And so I know there's a steep learning curve for me as well. Have to be aware to not say, well, when I had a baby, this is what we did, because they just don't do things the same way anymore. It feels like my way of being like, oh, this is rock and roll and this is great music. I know we all make those adjustments. Okay, timer's going off. Be right back. Okay. Had to stir the chicken and rice meal that we're making tonight for dinner. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Anyway, back to grandparenting. So very excited about that. I put together a special canvas. I wanted to make sure I had it done that I will post on the day the baby is born. And my daughter asked, she was like, why are you so panicked about getting this done? We still have plenty of time. I was like, you just never know. When a baby's gonna come, a baby's gonna come. So I wanted to make sure it was done. I also did a couple art dot canvases. Grandbaby's nickname is Baby Goose. And so in their 12-pack that they put out, I think it's a different one currently than it was when I originally purchased it. There were 2 canvases that are ducks, but I have to tell you, I don't know that I can identify the difference between a duck in the canvas or a goose. So while they are called ducks, I see them as geese. And so I did both canvases that have ducks in it and put it together in one frame for the nursery, and was able to finish that Christmas Eve and have it sitting with all the other presents, which was really fun. Most Christmas Eves I am not working on gifts. I try to have them done significantly earlier, but this time I put a few things aside so I could work on neighborhood gifts, which this year, again, sorry if you've already seen this in my Instagram posts or Facebook as well, but I took coasters that I got from Diamond Art Club and I turned them into ornaments and just wrote out from us to them and the year. We have been giving some form of ornament, gosh, I think for 20 years now, as our neighborhood gifts. I had somebody tell me as they put their tree up every year, it's kind of a history of everything with the ornaments that we've made and given out, because they're always some sort of handmade thing that has the year on the back. It's tradition with when my kids were younger that we would pile them in the van and drive around the neighborhood, drop them off on doorsteps. Of course, kids grew up. I no longer have a minivan. And so now it's just an hour or so walking around and distributing them. And so because of that, I had to take some time, put the goose or duck canvases aside, because a tree ornament after Christmas gives them, I guess, something to look forward to, but also kind of misses the point. So anyway, I love doing that. Okay, I have no idea. This is going to be a learning moment. I have a very growly tummy right now, and I don't know if you will be able to hear it in this recording. And if you do hear it, my goodness, I'm so sorry, and how embarrassing. If you can't, I'm sure you are now thinking, what in the world is happening and why is she talking about it? Oh, it's very loud. I'm very hungry. So looking forward to dinner. All right. So one of the other canvases that I'm working on is a mystery, and it is one of my very, actually not one of, it is my very first mystery kit, and it's from Diamond Shop UK, I believe. And oh my goodness, it takes so much brain power to sit, because it's a totally blank canvas. It isn't one like Diamond Art Club that already has the symbols on it. It's totally blank. And so very reminiscent of counted cross stitch, which I love. It reminds me of my mom, who taught me how to cross stitch, but I actually moved away from counted cross stitch to diamond art because I love cross stitch and I love the experience, but my brain did not love having to keep track of where I was. And so this takes me back to that. And my first, they call them window. The first window I did took 7 hours. 7 hours to do. And I thought, oh my gosh, this has, I think it's 25 windows. 25! This is going to take so long. And I also don't think it's a canvas I can work on while I'm filming, because the etiquette of working on a mystery kit is that you don't share what the mystery is, which makes it really challenging if that is your WIP and that is where you're spending your time. But I do also know it isn't something I could do on this sort of platform because, quite frankly, I could not talk and count and do all the things I need to do at the same time. It takes so much focus. I have been worried lately. I will share that my mom passed. It was dementia in the dementia family, let's say. It's a small vessel disease in her brain, and I have been worried as I get older that it's something that I am going to have as well. She and I share so many things, and I thought I've been struggling more recently with focus and memory, and so I've been concerned about my mental faculties. And so the mystery kit is one way, I don't want to say to counteract, because I don't know that there is any way to counteract, but help keep my memory a little sharper. But it does take away from the joy. I don't know, it sounds weird to say the mindless joy that is diamond art for me. I'm able to come home after work and do something that I love, but does not require really much focus. Wow, this is very crooked. I'll have to try to fix this. So I need to decide how I'm gonna best tackle it. I don't know that I have a 7-hour block very often. So maybe it is one that only comes out on holidays. I can't even say weekends because, as I mentioned, we volunteer in our local temple, and we do it in the middle of the day which would take any 7-hour block that I potentially have. So maybe that's part of the mystery as well, is figuring out how I'm going to do that. Okay, so let me scoot this up now that I've finished that section. Okay, I've got to turn a few things. Sorry about that sound. And let's see. Hopefully, yeah, I think you can see that. Alrighty, move to this next section. So we'll just have to see how this all goes. Alright, so I'm hoping everybody's holiday was a good one. Did you get much time off? What were the things you did? I'm watching, looks like we've got a storm rolling in. I live in a place that, boy, this winter has just been really different. It's been in the 50 degrees range, and we have hardly gotten any precipitation, any water. I mean, I already live in a desert. And so I don't expect a lot, but we do need some, or we're going to be hurting in the summer. So it looks like the forecast shows a week of rain. Here's hoping that in the mountains it will at least be snow, because that's what we really need. I know it's been super hard on the tourism industry. I've heard lots of ski vacations were canceled because we do have some snow. Ugh, boy, that was way off. But because it's been warmer, the snow machines haven't been able to stay up with it. Now, in some of the higher elevation resorts, they've done better than the lower elevation resorts, because those are just getting rain, which is fine. Again, we need the water, but that is not great for snowmaking. It just kind of melts it all away, and they can't keep up with it, which is definitely a challenge when one of your main tour industries depends so heavily on snow and skiing. Okay, let's move over this way. Hopefully we can see. So we'll see if the temperatures go down. I was hoping with the California, I think it's the atmospheric river, I expected we would get a lot of water out of that, but we didn't. We had a high pressure in place that blocked it all, and it would just go up and around. So Colorado did well, and I believe the Midwest got quite a bit, probably of snow, because I think I remember hearing they just kind of got walloped. Not us, just up and around. Did not expect that this would be a weather report, but when all else fails, we talk about the weather. So we'll see. In fact, I'll check that as soon as I finish up here, because it does also mean planning for the commute this week. Holidays over means everybody's back in the office. It was pretty awesome because of how the holidays fell. We got to do some work from home days. We got to do Wednesday through Friday for each week. Loved that. Talk about a return to yesteryear. I did not get to have, I know that on this platform we have to be very careful about things we talk about during those years of, I believe it's 2020 to 2023, but particularly 2020 through 21 or 2, there was a lot of working from home offices. And my husband got to do that. But my job was an office manager. And that wasn't something I could do. I needed to receive packages and take care of things in the office, and you frankly can't do that from home. So while my team got to work from home for several years, I was in the office. So I was in the office, and I don't want to say I had a different experience than most people, but in our company and our location, I definitely did not have the same experience that they had. And again, it's not something to say I was sad about, but it was different. And so when I get those few work from home opportunities, I relish them. And now that things have gone back to an office environment, I have taken this office that I'm in, and I think I can change it to more of a diamond art office, little studio, which I'm very excited about. But now I have to figure out where to put all my office-y equipment. I've got quite a large monitor, and if you do diamond art, you know that you need to have some space to spread out, and that is what I need to figure out, is where to put everything. That is a challenge for another day, though. As I wrap up, I'm not going to keep you much longer. I'm just going to finish this section with the white trails. And, my goodness, let's just get those off of there. And I will work on this other section another time. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to the next time we spend together. Thanks for being incredible. Thanks for joining. Like, subscribe, comment, all the things. We'll see you next time. Bye.